I'm going to address a hot topic, stretching. Should you, as an endurance athlete, be stretching? Now, I'm going to address this from two different angles. One, yes or no, should you? And two, how do you do it? So to answer the question really clearly, should you be stretching as an endurance athlete? Yes, you should. And the main reason being is because it is important for injury prevention. And performance relies on your ability to stay injury-free for the longest period possible. So, if you are considering whether it is worth your time to spend a little bit of time before and after every workout stretching, yes, the answer is yes, you should. But it is important to also take into consideration how you should stretch. There are two global forms of stretching, classifications of stretching. One is dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretching is essentially warming up the muscles through movement. The other is static stretching. Static stretching, you're actually doing a more traditional stretch where you hold a stretch to stretch out that muscle. Now, before workouts, we want to do dynamic stretching. We want to do movements. It's actually harmful to the muscles to hold a stretch before because the muscle is still cold. It can actually cause tearing. After, you can do dynamic stretching as well. It's not going to hurt you, but it's also a good place for static stretching to cool down the muscle and elongate the muscle that has been tightened during the workout. Now, the critics of stretching will say that we only need to move the body through a functional range. And so therefore, if you can move through that functional range, there's really no need for stretching to be able to achieve outside of that range. But there's two flaws with this. One, it doesn't take into consideration injury prevention. And two, it doesn't take into consideration the long range deterioration of that functional range. Over time, by not stretching, you are going to find that functional range, your ability to move through the necessary functional range will get greatly limited. And it is going to be a lot harder to get that range of motion back after years of not stretching. So my recommendation to you is that you're not going to do harm by doing an appropriate level of regular stretching. I'm not encouraging you to overstretch or go crazy with this, but an appropriate level of stretching after your workouts and dynamic stretching before is not going to cause you harm. Now, not doing it very well could cause you harm to both injury as well as your long-term performance. So, when faced with the question of whether you should stretch or you shouldn't, I encourage you to err on the side of stretching because it is the best of the two options.